Weather Extra starts now.
Hey there, Chief Meteorologist Wes White, along with meteorologist Lauren Linehan here in the First Alert Weather Center. We've been tracking some stormy weather today. We've had some severe thunderstorm warnings, but for some of us, well, we're still looking for some rain. It's still been kind of scattered around the area. We actually saw some of those storms that impacted Tennessee last night. They moved in, held on, and reached some of those far northern zones during the early morning hours. That kind of had an impact on how things kind of set up for the remainder of the day. But let's get over to AccuTrack radar right now. We'll take you around the state, show you what's happening. You look at this and you can see those storms are pressing on southward and moving into southern parts of the area. We had warnings around Shelby, also Bibb, and in towards Tuscaloosa counties. Thankfully, no damage reported out of those. You can see Lauren here has the radar backed out and those storms line up back in the Mississippi. This is kind of the axis here that's going to set up for not only today but the next couple of days. The models really favor scattered storms in this zone. So it's going to be very hit or miss. Some parts of our area we won't see much at all. Some parts of the area we could see more frequent rain and storms through the rest of the week and into the weekend. Let's get in here really close to our coverage area. We'll start out around Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, and as we zoom in, actually let me go over to AccuTrack radar, and Lauren, let's go ahead and zoom in and oh, okay. So we'll actually go over to our other system here, and I'll zoom in on First Alert AccuTrack radar, show you what's going on here as we get in across the coverage area. And by the way, this is a look at how much rain has fallen across the area. Notice there 3 inches in parts of Marion County, and we're looking at rain amounts also right there around south of Marion from some of those storms over 3 inches. And boy, that is July in Alabama. You end up with heavy rain in some areas, but notice around Birmingham, not a drop. Over to Anniston, not much. Tuscaloosa area, you can see those rain amounts over 2 inches. But we'll get over to radar and take you in for a live look, and we'll clear all this off the screen there. And you can see now things looking pretty good here. If you heading out to the Barons game, we have World Games happening, some baseball out at the Hoover Met. Looking pretty good right now. No lightning threats imminent across the area, but do keep a watch out. Even as late as 10, 11 o'clock tonight, we could see something try to pop up. I want to get in really close. If we look around the state here, at least in our coverage area, find some of the heavier storms and showers. Well, it's happening right now in far southwest Pickens County, northern Sumter County. We do have quite a bit of lightning popping. Certainly not a time, if you're watching south of Pickensville, to be on the water. Out here on the river, you can see the lightning flashes showing up there. We've had 30 strikes within this viewing window over the past 30 minutes. This is moving eastward to east at 17 miles per hour. This shows the Clark area impacted around 6:50, giving you some of those first alert times. And we'll actually back the view out and show you what's going on around Meridian. We were tracking some strong storms there, and well, things are looking pretty good. So that stretch where we did have some of that heavy rain earlier between Tuscaloosa and Meridian on Interstate 2059 has improved past Meehan Junction back over towards Newton, Mississippi, tracking some rain. But in West Alabama, around Butler, down in Choctaw County, and the storms popping. This is pushing south towards the Pennington, Nanophilia areas in Marengo County, Linden. Some intense lightning. The storms have pressed on southward. We did have a warning earlier, southern Hale County. That's expired. It expired at 6:15, but that same storm is now pushing on down into parts of Dallas and Marengo counties, places like Linden being impacted, and around the capital city. If you're traveling south from Clanton and Verbena, there's an intense storm that we've been monitoring that's south of Marbury that's moving down in towards places like Prattville here. You can see this storm's producing over 80 lightning strikes there over the past 30 minutes, so quite intense. Looks like Burkeville around 6:52, St. Clair area around 6:59. So a lot of those storms going severe, especially these that have popped up to the south. Oh, Coosa County, let's get in here. This is one that you could actually see on our camera earlier from Oak Grove, which is right there in Sylacauga. We were looking south and we could see that heavy downpour, but not seeing a severe storm at this time, but you may hear some rumbles. If you do hear those rumbles anywhere in the vicinity, Goodwater, Stewartville areas, you need to be indoors. until this passes on by. General track with this also to the south and the east. But we're watching the radar closely here as we move on into the evening. We'll be keeping an eye on the setup. Things further north, again, pretty quiet there again as you look at First Alert AccuTrack radar. And coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about how things will unfold over the next couple of days. It's certainly been a tricky forecast with these storms and showers. They had some flash flooding across parts of Tennessee last night as those storms moved south, and we ended up with some heavy rain during the early morning again for parts of our area. But for locations that haven't seen much rain, well, what are our chances for the rest of the week? We'll talk about that coming up right here on First Alert Weather Extra. And also coming up, we're going to talk about how the heat impacts football practice and also talk about beyond the 7-day forecast. Stay with us.
At West Shore Home, we pride ourselves on being the fastest and most convenient option for homeowners who are looking for a new shower or bath project. Today, Joe and I are going to look at some projects, why they're so popular, and how we can offer you some extra savings right now.
Yeah, well, Kirsten, the big question out there is why are so many people choosing to remodel their shower or bath right now?
Joe, right now homeowners across America are looking for ways to reinvest and build value in their homes. Replacing your shower or bath is a great way to do that. For folks who call in right now, we're offering some great savings with our 4th of July flash sale. You can lock in that price and get limited time long-term financing of 0% APR for 48 months. And on top of that, for anyone who calls in now, we'll take an additional $1,500 off your shower or bath project.
Wow, it seems like the price of everything else keeps going up, but you're saying for anybody that calls in now, they can lock in their price and get 0% APR for 48 months. That's amazing. Now, Kirsten, for a project like this, they probably have to put some money down, right?
They definitely don't. So many people think when they're going to do a project like this, they have to have thousands of dollars saved up for a down payment. That's simply not the case.
So you're saying they can start their project now and not have to worry about paying anything out of pocket. That's incredible. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, what do one of these projects look like when they're finished? Can you give us an example?
This homeowner wanted something that was safer and more accessible. We came in and installed a brand new walk-in shower. The best part is they were able to take advantage of our long-term financing. That's 0% APR for 48 months. And just as a reminder, anyone who calls in right now can get an additional $1,500 off their project.
Wow, Kirsten, thanks so much, folks. It does not get any easier than this. This offer ends this week. Call in now to get 0% APR for 48 months. And for a limited time, they're taking $1,500 off every shower and bath project. Call West Shore Home now.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We have been hanging out here in Birmingham today, but we have been tracking some storms to our south and west. Also, some have been around Tuscaloosa. Meteorologist Fred Hunter, Mr. Absolutely Alabama himself, talks to an Alabama football legend about how the tide keeps rolling despite any weather elements.
This is a special event of sorts. We're here at the Bryant Museum, so just in case Coach Bryant's watching, I'm going to take my hat off. Okay. And you always take your hat off in the house, and we're sitting here with, I guess, what could be classified officially as an Alabama legend, Eddie Conyers. Eddie started officiating when Coach Bryant first came to Alabama and officiated all the way up to last year. And Eddie, since this is a Weather Extra segment, obviously, I know it got hot out there on that practice field. I mean, we're going through high school practices and things now. Talk a little bit about the heat and dealing with the heat and the players and the officials too. How you dealt with it over those years?
Hotly. You know, I really, the weather is, I tell my wife the other day, when you talking about that, Fred, we were riding down Hackberry Lane, and I said, can you imagine practicing football in this kind of weather? I personally, I couldn't do it, but I think the players in such good condition now, it doesn't, quite honestly, they're hot, of course, but it didn't seem to bother them that much. I may say in that good a shape, and I'm sure it bothers them, but it doesn't bother much as it would you and me. It bothered me more than you.
But the philosophy, I remember hearing Coach Griska say one time, you know, we didn't give them much water. So the philosophy, when I was playing in high school and when you were coming up, you didn't drink water during practice and game.
Yeah.
It meant you weren't tough. But the philosophy of how you deal with the heat by the coaches and the trainers, that's changed over the years.
Oh yeah, very much so. Because I can remember, we had a player one time at Alabama got real serious. It was too hot, and it was pretty serious. They had to take him to the hospital. But Coach Saban, now you have all the Gatorades you can drink, and they have Jeff Allen, the head trainer, the top one in the United States, I think. They even have a spray gun. They spray you and everything. So they're very, very conscious of the weather now, much more so than like when you talk about with Coach Bryant. I heard him say they thought it was a sin to drink water. And they find this Smokey Harper, who coached with Coach Bryant in Texas A&M, was with his trainer. He's one that I think talked Coach Bryant into giving them water. But the way they would do, he just let them stop practice and they'd just line up. They'd come along and give them one little cup of water. But health that now and taking the weather into consideration is a top priority.
And my last question, because you're out there in the heat with them, what's can you say, boy, that's the hottest day I can remember practicing football in the state of Alabama in August and September and October? It's always hot.
Fred, I'm going to turn it 100% around and the cold. I remember one day when Shula was here, and Tom Dana and I, Tom's official here in Tuscaloosa, it was so cold that they stopped practice and brought us officials, special coach out there. The ground had actually frozen. The grass was frozen. You'd break when you talk about it. I remember that much more so than the heat, tell you the truth. That was the coldest day has ever been. And it was awful.
Eddie Conyers, who officiated for a lot of coaches, called a lot of practices and a lot of games, he's been through everything from extreme heat to extreme cold, and he makes a good point. It's important to stay well hydrated. For this week's Absolutely Alabama Weather Extra, I'm Fred Hunter.
I don't know about y'all, but I could listen to Fred and Eddie talk all day long, even if it has to be about Alabama football. First Alert Weather Extra will be right back with the Super 7-day forecast, and we'll take you beyond the 7-day.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
And being another set of eyes looking out for your kids and your family.
Getting to the bottom of health and billing issues that may be hidden in the fine print.
How events nationwide are affecting you here at home.
WBRC Fox 6 is always here on your side, ready to help. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
These are your mornings, and Good Day Alabama is built to start them right. The only station staying local on all platforms all morning long. In your community, giving you a deeper perspective with the largest team dedicated to you. Showing new stories from overnight, helping you get through your day. With First Alert weather and traffic, getting to the point, not wasting your time. These are your mornings. Prepare for a good day. Prepare with Good Day Alabama.
When moments turn severe, how do you find clarity?
This is your First Alert from the WBRC Fox 6 weather team. We're with you as we prepare for this threat.
In a season of constant change, when you need to know first, when you need to prepare, only one team gives you the First Alert wherever you are. A trusted team staying ahead of what's next in your neighborhood. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert weather team. Live, new, and on your side, beginning at 9 p.m. In a day filled with clutter and noise, WBRC Fox 6 News breaks down what you need to know before anyone else. With new updates, live and on the scene, answers for your money and your livelihood, with 6 on Your Side investigates. And your First Alert for the hours and days ahead with the WBRC First Alert weather team. On your favorite platforms every night. WBRC Fox 6 News at 9 and 10. On your side.
All right, our first alert 7-day forecast. Rain chances with us over the next several days. One thing, you look at this forecast, the high temperature, well, it is close to average for this time of the year, so we don't expect the feels like temperatures to reach into the 110, 115 range like what we saw last week. It has been very active today, certainly the most active day that we've seen so far this work week. And the storms right now, they're already pressing further south. We started to see this trend earlier today. I know for some of us, we haven't seen a lot of storm activity, but for some of us, it has certainly been quite stormy. We've had severe storms impacting parts of West Alabama, parts of Shelby County. Those storms now pushing in towards places like Rockford, Goodwater here in Coosa County, and we're detecting some lightning around Pickens County. If you follow this, some of this may track in. We may see some more stormy weather, southern Tuscaloosa, parts of Hale County, and watching to the north here. Still can't rule out something popping up this evening, Birmingham to Gadsden. Just know the chances here right now are looking lower as compared to what we're seeing further south. But we'll be watching the radar closely. Remember, check that First Alert weather app, and you can get those precipitation, lightning alerts if anything pops up close to home. Notice the model data shows some development to the north, but right now radar is saying not seeing that at the moment. We'll keep an eye on it though tonight. You have to look at those radar trends, and actually that's really kind of paints a picture on what we're seeing tomorrow and Friday. It looks also like areas to the south, the greatest chance. If we kind of had to paint on here where we'd see most of the storm activity, it looks like chances lower to the north, and then you'll see a gradual increase the further south you go throughout the next couple of days. And back the view out just so you can see this and kind of highlighted what we're seeing. We have a stalled axis of stormy weather. There's a front to the north that's moving in. You go further north, you get into some really dry air, but we have what we call a little bit of subsidence that's going on. We had some clouds today, and with temperatures in the 80s, I think that was one of the limiting factors. We ended up last night, there was quite a bit of flash flooding around parts of Tennessee. We saw some strong to severe storms south in Nashville. Well, some of those held on past midnight and actually reached our northern areas. So we started off the day with things kind of setting up further south based on those storms from last night. And that's what you get into here in the summer months is those small scale impacts can certainly impact the forecast in a big way. And it gave us a lot of clouds. So with temperatures in the 80s, that really limited a lot of that development in those areas to the north. But it was able to heat up, get a little bit more sunshine further south, and that's where it's been popping. But tomorrow and into the day on Friday, even to the north, we still could see a little bit of rain, as you can see here on Thursday, but the model data is really favoring these areas to the south. So especially if you're south of I-20, plan for that possibility of some storms each afternoon. But all in all, you look at this and, well, it looks like July. It looks like the dog days of summer, and we go through Saturday and Sunday. We have highs around 90-30% chance of an afternoon pop-up. The good news, at this point, we don't expect a tropical storm to provide a weekend washout. We just don't see that. I know earlier this week we've been telling you about that disturbance over the Gulf of Mexico. Well, it has really struggled, and we're not seeing that developing at this point. So with this front that's moving through Alabama, that's going to win out and keep any of that deeper tropical moisture on south of us. And this weekend there will be some opportunities to spend some time out by the pool and the lake cooling off with that afternoon storm chance, though still there, and especially next week we'll see slightly greater coverage of those showers and storms out there. But kind of a tricky forecast as I bring in meteorologist Lauren Linehan. You know, Lauren, you and I, we've been watching the radar closely today, and you know, we expected some storms, and we certainly got some active weather in some areas, but I know for some locations to the north, we're like, where's the rain at?
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, sometimes these unsettled summer patterns are hard to predict. And you oftentimes get these northwest flow patterns where you can get these little complexes of storms to come in. You get fronts, lots of complicated surface features, and those in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That can make the forecast a little bit tricky. But hey, southern half of our area still storms. Hopefully we'll see some quieter weather as we go into the evening. But how about beyond the 7-day? Well, as we look 8 to 14 days from now, you'll notice across the southeast, it doesn't look overwhelming in terms of wet weather, but likely some at least a little bit above average rainfall for parts of the southeast. That doesn't quite clip all of our area. So this may be more so along the immediate Gulf Coast, Florida Panhandle, southwest Alabama, up into the Carolinas and the Georgia coastline as well. So as we look here going into next week, here we are next Thursday morning. Notice we have still still some unsettled weather in place. And that's kind of what we've been seeing, as Wes has been seeing for next week in terms of that super 7-day forecast. Some unsettled weather, that northwest flow in place, helping to bring in more showers and storms than you would see on a typical summer day. Now, that is the middle of next week. As we head towards next weekend, we may see some drier weather in place. So this weekend, hit or miss storms. What about next weekend? Doesn't look too bad. I think once we get into the following week, we may see some more unsettled weather swinging its way back in. But I will tell you, I haven't seen much in the way of anything that looks like a surefire guarantee for tropical development, which of course a lot of people are wondering this time of the year. And I know you got those last minute beach vacations you're wanting to work in. So we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. But as far as temperatures, that's another big thing. I mean, it's summer. What do you expect, right? Look at this ridge that is going to be building in over the next 8 to 14 days, bringing above average temperatures across a good portion of the U.S. And yes, that does include Alabama. So what does that translate to? It's like, all right, I see the colors. What are the actual numbers? Well, I think once we get past next week and get into the following week, so we're talking 2 weeks from now, we've been seeing hints of above average temperatures, maybe upper 90s. I know we always seem to spit out that 100-degree mark over the next couple of weeks, but we'll have to see. You know, the forecasting is always going to be a little bit more accurate the closer in time you are versus 2 weeks out. The data isn't quite as good, but we at least like to give you a little preview here in Beyond the 7 Day. So we'll be keeping an eye on things, Wes, but I mean, it's summertime. I think we can guarantee that it's going to be hot and humid at least.
It is going to be hot and humid, Lauren, and yes, these storms pop up all over the place this time of the year, so it's always interesting to watch these radar trends each afternoon. And actually right now I've been watching Coosa County, where it is popping around Mount Olive, Highway 280. If you follow me on Facebook, I posted a few moments ago, our very own Jonathan Hardison was near the Prattville area on I-65 and said it is pouring in that area right now. So there's still some big impacts happening across the state of Alabama on this stormy Wednesday. And we're tracking more wet weather in that 7-day forecast and talking about the World Games forecast as we continue right here. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
At West Shore Home, we pride ourselves on being the fastest and most convenient option for homeowners who are looking for a new shower or bath project. Today, Joe and I are going to look at some projects, why they're so popular, and how we can offer you some extra savings right now.
Yeah, well, Kirsten, the big question out there is, why are so many people choosing to remodel their shower or bath right now?
Joe, right now homeowners across America are looking for ways to reinvest and build value in their homes. Replacing your shower or bath is a great way to do that. For folks who call in right now, we're offering some great savings with our 4th of July flash sale. You can lock in that price and get limited time long-term financing of 0% APR for 48 months. And on top of that, for anyone who calls in now, we'll take an additional $1,500 off your shower or bath project.
Wow, it seems like the price of everything else keeps going up, but you're saying for anybody that calls in now, they can lock in their price and get 0% APR for 48 months. That's amazing. Now, Kirsten, for a project like this, they probably have to put some money down, right?
They definitely don't. So many people think when they're going to do a project like this, they have to have thousands of dollars saved up for a down payment. That's simply not the case.
So you're saying they can start their project now and not have to worry about paying anything out of pocket. That's incredible. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, what do one of these projects look like when they're finished? Can you give us an example?
This homeowner wanted something that was safer and more accessible. We came in and installed a brand new walk-in shower. The best part is they were able to take advantage of our long-term financing, that 0% APR for 48 months. And just as a reminder, anyone who calls in right now can get an additional $1,500 off their project.
Wow, Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, it does not get any easier than this. This offer ends this week. Call in now to get 0% APR for 48 months. And for a limited time, they're taking $1,500 off every shower and bath project. Call West Shore Home now.
All right, we've got the World Games, Mickey. You know, it's halfway over pretty much.
I know it, and it's still a good time to get on out there, but we need to pay attention to the weather because especially if you're visiting in town and you're not familiar with our weather, it's hot and it's humid, and we have a front coming through, which is pretty rare in the month of July to have a front coming through, but it could bring about some storms.
That's right. So tomorrow there is still a chance we could see some widely scattered showers and storms, not nearly as widespread or seeing as much activity as today, but tomorrow there is that chance. So make sure you monitor the app. We're looking at high temperatures tomorrow in the upper 80s, maybe a few spots getting close to 90 degrees, but still going to be hot, a little on the muggy side.
Yeah, a little bit of that. I think our best day of the week is probably going to be on Friday, but tomorrow evening, about a 30% chance of showers, little isolated drops. Some folks could get some heavy downpours, and just down the road, nothing at all.
That's right. So we'll hold on to a small rain chance going into the evening hours if you're going to the City Walk, and that's free. You can just walk all down there. There's some concerts. You can get some really cool, shirts and stuff from vendors. So if you check that out, it's a really cool thing. But it's still going to be warm and muggy tomorrow evening.
Do you have to walk on the City Walk, or can you sashay or skip?
Whatever gets you to,
skipping.
Right.
Okay, well, here's the Barons baseball forecast for you. This is for Friday, tomorrow evening, as they take on Montgomery. They got those Friday night fireworks too.
Yeah, for Friday we are looking at mostly dry conditions. There could be some slightly drier air filtering in. So Friday looks like it could be our driest day of the next several days. So that is some good news. Of course, we'll be monitoring that forecast. And since it's just a few days away, it could still change a little bit. So stay with us. But hopefully it should be a good time to go out to the ballpark. And of course, for the weekend, for the World Games, Saturday and Sunday, Mickey.
Only a 30% chance of showers. Man, there's a lot going on in Birmingham right now with the World Games. You got Barons. But yeah, just pay attention to your First Alert weather app. It'll let you know if some of these scattered storms are nearby. The biggest concern probably this weekend would be some lightning strikes. So just monitor that. It's a free download, by the way, and you can even take it back to your country, can't you, and work there?
Yeah, that's right. So just make sure we'll be monitoring that forecast for you pretty carefully. But here's the look at right now at the forecast going into Sunday evening. We got the World Games closing ceremony. It feels like it just started, but it's Sunday evening. There could be a small rain chance. And really, just to give you an idea, this weekend, the temperatures honestly look near average for this time of the year, where you have low 90s and a chance for a pop-up shower or storm. So hopefully for most of the closing ceremony, it will be relatively dry.
Yeah, Lionel Richie, he called me up and wanted to know what the forecast is going to be for those closing ceremonies, and I got him on speed dial.
When he called, did you say hello?
Hello.
All right, well, here's a look at your thunder roars go indoors. Just a reminder, if it's lightning or you hear rumbles of thunder, definitely want to go inside, especially for some of those outdoor events when it comes to the World Games, or if you're just at the pool or at the lake. So just a reminder for that. And how can you get reminders about lightning or rain, Mickey?
You download the First Alert weather app. You can do an app search for First Alert WBRC. You can do our news app or our weather app, but we push the weather app because it's what we do. So check it out, and while you're there, you scroll down to the bottom and share some pictures of your World Game experience, or just, whatever you're doing this week.
That's right. So with all the events, stay safe, stay weather aware, and hope you have a great time.
Talk to you later, Lionel.
All right, we have a severe thunderstorm watch still in effect for Greene and Hale counties in our coverage area. Areas around the state, down into Marengo and Dallas counties included. We're going to be watching for some possibility of a greater chance for some strong to severe storms in this part of our state. But area-wide, still can't rule out some additional isolated development for tonight. And again, we watch the radar for some more storms next couple days, tomorrow and going into the weekend. And we'll have lots of updates for you tonight as we continue with weather coverage on WBRC Fox 6 at 9, 9:30, and 10.